Good morning. This is Dr. Bill White again with the American Orthodontic Society, and I want to talk a little bit this morning about not getting at the cause of the malocclusion. What caused this person's teeth to get crooked to start with? That may be several different causes, and sometimes you can get rid of the main one, but there'll be some of them you can't get rid of. And as long as you've got a cause for the malocclusion and it has enough sway there, you will need to wear a retainer. They ask how long you have to wear a retainer. Nobody under the sun knows how long you would need to, but if you still got a cause for the malocclusion and you straighten the teeth all up, then you're going to have to wear some type of retention to keep it from going in the wrong direction. And that's what it is. I mean, it's not a certain number of months or weeks or years or anything else that you have to wear them. So some people get along with none. Some people get along with just a minor part. Maybe just sleeping in a retainer keeps their teeth straight. It depends on what happens and what the cause is. Now, in this particular case, we may have gotten rid of some of the causes, but we didn't get rid of all of them. And another one, you have to wear the retainer if you still have something that's trying to move your teeth out of position. And so let's look at what happens in this young man, and I'll give you some idea about taking care of it. Now, I felt like this young man was a mouth breather. Now, if you breathe through your mouth, it has all kinds of effects on your body. You just don't realize how much effect it has as far as filtering the air and warming it up, the body temperature, and moistens it, and your body can get more oxygen out of it if you're breathing through your nose than it can if you breathe through your mouth. Now, if you breathe through your mouth, the air just goes down real slow, and it doesn't go out into the little alveoli of your lungs near as good if you breathe through your nose. And your nose is kind of like a carburetor, and you pull it through your nose, and it gets down there real fast, and it goes out into the alveoli, and it filters it, warms it, humidifies it, and makes a whale of a lot of difference in the life of the person that's this is happening to. Now, I'm a partial mouth breather, and it's been a pain to me. I have allergies and all this, and it's hard to get rid of all of that. But you can look at this young man, and he's got his mouth open, and he probably has his mouth open 90% of the time, in there, and he's breathing through the mouth. Now, if you breathe through your mouth, you've got to have your tongue in your bottom arch, or you have to have it down pretty low, and so his bottom arch is pretty well formed, and the upper arch is all crowded up and everything, and had a lot of bite plates in there where it wouldn't just automatically go over if you started cranking it out. So I had to put a block on there on one side and trim it down so the teeth could move over to the side. Let's look at it, and I'll try to run through this as quick as I can. I don't want to take too much time. I've already used up a lot. So here is the upper arch on this young man, and this was 5 of 1990 when we got him in. I don't know exactly what day we started on his work, but he's got a crossbite, and his upper arch is tilted in, even though the lower arch is tilted in to some extent. And so we'll look at it from this side, and you see he's in a near crossbite. His bottom teeth are straighter, they're still going to widen out some during the treatment and everything. And we'll go down to the other side of the mouth, and it's a similar problem over here. You got the near crossbite, or the hidden cusp to cusp on the teeth. And you look at the upper arch, it is really crowded up and everything here. And you've got to get this lateral back out into this space over here, and the cuspid down in there. And when this baby tooth is gone, this cuspid could work down in here pretty good. This is also a baby tooth right here, so we'll get this bicuspid out and line this up. So those are the simple orthodontic things. In fact, we get his teeth straightened up real nice, and then in a few years we notice he's got it's relapsing on him. And so we went and tried to correct it and get him working on it. Now look at the lower arch. It's in pretty good shape. It may be tilted over a little bit, but it's not in bad shape. So the tongue stays down here more than it does up in the upper arch. And we look at the, well, let me go back. And you look at the upper arch, and my gosh, how's it going to fit on this lower arch down here? It won't fit. I mean, it just doesn't. And we need to press it over. We didn't have to put a palatal separator or anything in. So I put just a light arch wire with springs, opening it up and spreading it out, and we went along with it like that. This is 93, so we've spent a lot of time with this young man, the second of 93, and things are coming along pretty good here, but we spent a lot of time in there. And here we've got this block on that side to jump the bite over that way. I guess we tried for a good while and couldn't get it over, and we bonded this block on there. Now this is 2 of 93, and here's this block. Let me look at it from another angle here, and you can see it a little bit better. Okay, here's the block on top of the teeth. Now you can go in and when you separate it, and if you leave this block in very long, these teeth will come in contact. They're not hitting right now at all, because we got about a millimeter or so.
Looks like there's a problem.
I don't know what. There is a problem. Now, right here, we grind this thing out right in here, and this allows us to slide this over to the side like that. And so that's what we did on the block. Now, doing that, I'll show you. And then we spread it out, and it went on across. And that's working good. That interference we had there was Google answering me back. Anyway, we opened it up, and we went on in 93 and pulled that lateral out into place and got him looking pretty good. Now here it is, 4 of 94, and we've pretty well got everything lined up, or pretty good. It's not closing too like we'd like. So here's the models in 1990, and here we are in 94 with them. So we're doing, we've lined him up pretty good. We've taken a lot of time doing that, but anyway, here it is in 94, and there was, okay, there's 90. And then there's 94, so we've expanded the arch and got it fitting over the lower arch good. And we're trying to break this mouth breathing habit. And if you can't do it, I mean, you can't, there's some blockage in there that you need to work on, send him to an ENT guy. And I've even had some people had the terbinates trimmed to make it one of the ladies work for me. We tried everything, and we finally, she had some of the turbinates kind of shortened, and it opened her airway up, and she's had no problem ever since. So you may have to do all sorts of things. Now, allergies are a pain. I mean, you get certain allergies certain times of the year, and you just have to take antihistamines and stuff like that, and that's not good either. But here is 1990, the bottom arch, and there it is in 94. So it's lined up good. And here we've taken him out of the braces in 11 of 94. Anyway, we've got the retainer on there. We probably took him out a little bit earlier than that. And the teeth are right above the others, and we're letting them come in and work into each other. And if they're breathing right and they're chewing right, swallowing right, and everything, these teeth will move together, and your finishing of the retention is in the retainer. I mean, you put a bite plate on it too, if it closes down too much, and then have the place for the lower teeth to come into place. All right, now let's watch it in 94. Everything was looking pretty good at that point. Now here's 94, and I think he's not wearing it very much. Anyway, this is kind of slipping away where we've got our bite plate on it, and it's kind of not fitting up tight. I think we see another view of it here down later on, and he is just really not wearing the retainer like we would like for him to. But you can see the tongue is spreading out this lower arch, keeping it out. And if you don't swallow correctly, like if you're swallowing improperly, an infantile swallow pattern, somebody kind of does like that, and they don't bite their teeth together. But I would bet that people out here watching it, if you're an adult and you're functioning right, you can't hardly swallow without biting your teeth together. But I've shown people so much that I can do it. But normally you bite together, and there's a whole separate set of muscles and everything else in the lips that take place when you bite together like that. Now, if you're an infantile swallow pattern, you activate your lips, and you'll do like that, and you'll put your tongue up in there. And your infantile swallow pattern is totally different, and if you do that, it has a tremendous effect on you. You'll make your teeth protrude out, and you'll get a real strong lower lip. But that's getting off into some other areas right here. But this young man is not wearing this retainer. Let me show you later on down here. All right, this is, I don't have the date, that's 95, and the teeth are coming in fairly good, and they haven't really settled in like I like. If they're really biting too and doing that good. The lower arch is staying straight. Now the upper arch has begun to collapse. You'll see this right here, with this tooth has moved back. Now this one we pull way out of the bottom down here, and he is not wearing a retainer, and these teeth are in just a little bit more than they were. And so you can tell this young man is not seriously into the retention, and you haven't gotten totally rid of the cause, which is sometimes darn near impossible to do, and there may be some causes you don't even realize in here. But anyway, he's a mouth breather, and here was his models back in 5 of 90, and the models were 41.5 millimeters right here, measuring from tip of the cut of the 6-year molar right here. The top of the lingual cusp is usually where you measure it from. And I'm going to erase that. Now the model that is 19, it's 49 millimeters, and I think this is 94, and that was 90. And now the width of it from this tooth over to here is 49 millimeters. So we widen it out a lot, and so it's going to try to come back some during the retention. If you don't hold the retainer, I mean, stay with it, you know. And I'm afraid he wasn't doing that. All right, here he is. This is 97 now. We've jumped way on up. And it looks quite good at this point, but then later on down, that lateral goes back in right in here, and he's got to be wearing that thing all the time for that lateral to stay in position. Let me see this. Now here it looks good over here, and maybe his teeth look good enough he thought he didn't have to wear a retainer, but he did. Now here it is. See, this lateral has come back in, and this one is staying out there, but this one came from here, so it tried to come back, and it is succeeding, but simply because he is not really staying with that retainer like he should. And of course this bottom tooth down here is started back into, sorry to have to wear these things, but see that calculus building up down around the teeth down there. Okay. And so at this point, this young man is not wearing this retainer properly. And so now this is separated up here away from the teeth, and it's probably moved away from these teeth in here too. So anyway, he's not wearing the retainer, and you're going to have some collapse on this case, and all you can do is kind of warn them of what's going to happen and tell their, the parents, if somebody can watch him, okay. But here he is, and he has relapsed some, and I try to tell him, stick with this thing. You need to wear it probably all the time to get them back more or less where they were, and if you really stay with it, it'll work. And if you don't, it's not going to work, and you can't follow them around all the time taking care of them. Now they're going to grow up, and they'll decide to wear it or not wear it. And if you haven't gotten rid of the cause for the malocclusion, you can bet your life you have to wear some type of retention really the rest of your life, really, if you keep it going. Now sometimes it'll relapse a little bit and then stop at that point if the pressure inside and outside are the same and they're not doing anything to foul it up, then that's okay. So I hope you get something out of this video, and thank you for watching, and I wish you would join our group and subscribe to our channel. So I'll say goodbye, and we'll close this one out. Thank you a lot. Bye-bye.